This is the Medicom Toys Mafex number 200. It's a Star Wars figure from the Mandalorian show, and this is the Beskar armored version of the Mandalorian version 2.0. And it's pretty nice. It's a lot like the first version that came out, but it's updated. It's got some fixes on it. It's got a lot more accessories, which is nice. And yeah, let's get into this and check it out. Here's the side of the box with the cool side art. I like this side, I think, pretty much the best. Looks good. Here's the bottom with the unpiratable Mafex Medicom Toys unpiratable sticker and the SKU. Here's the other side. Cool Din Djarin unmasked head sculpt. Yep, looking good. And on the top, just another picture up there. And on the back, it's got some of the product shots and shows you all the stuff he comes with. Pretty nice. And yeah, that's about it for the box. Let's get into it and check it out. So right off the bat, in the back of the box, you can see the cool little mural art thing. It's pretty nice. This one doesn't come out. Usually these, with the Mafex ones, they don't. The picture in the back doesn't come out. Kind of like the SH Figure Arts one has a little insert that's cardboard little poster that you can take out. These just are static and stay in there. But it's kind of cool. And on the bottom on the inside down here, it's got a "This is the way" thing on the inside, which is kind of cool. Here is the quality assurance pamphlet, which also shows you how to register your product online, how to download the app, and how to, check it off to make sure that your product is official. So that's cool. And then they've also got the usual multi-positional Mafex stand, which is really nice. I'm glad they always include these. These are pretty nice for a standard stand. These do the job. So here's Mando right out of the box. And first impressions are, he's really nice. I think the proportions are excellent on this guy. He's just really looks like a really well-built figure. It feels good in hand. It's got the nice wired cloth cape, which is nice and kind of tattered in the back. But before we get to him, let's check out the accessories first. There's a ton of stuff to go over. So here's the first tray. And if you want hands with a figure, this thing has 20 different hands. Really nice. And they're all in these little pegs that hold the sets together, so which is cool. Hands for all these weapons that are here. This is just one of two trays with the figure. But as you can see, it's got like the grappling hook thingy, which is probably my least favorite thing out of all this. It's got the nice dark saber with two different hilts. It's got one that you can use without the blade and one with the blade, which is cool. It's got his pistol. It's got two rifles, two Amphase pulse rifles. One that's just basically you put it on his back and it's got a strap. The other one has a little strap that's put like it's tucked in under the underside. It's made for him to hold the weapon. And yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's got the Beskar spear, which is nice. Just tons of goodness. And that's just tray one. On the second tray, basically, what you got here, you got two Baby Yodas, two Grogus, one in a satchel, one that stands by himself, two alternate heads, an unmasked Din Djarin head sculpt, and then another head sculpt with the flashlight on the side. So you get a total of 3 different heads, which is cool. You got the blast effects for the jetpack. The jetpack itself, you got a small vibro knife, his pistol, then you've got a whistling bird's rocket thing that shows where they're firing, which is cool, an alternate piece. And then you've got a gauntlet piece that plugs into his other side, which does a flamethrower effect, which is really cool. So you get tons of goodness with this thing. I mean, it's nice. If you want effects, this is the way to go for sure. Here's a close-up of the unmasked Pedro Pascal head sculpt. I think this thing looks really nice. I mean, for a stock head sculpt, yeah, I can really see the actor in there. Looks good. The hair looks good. And it's nice. I like that Mafex gives you, full head sculpts without like a faceplate like the SH Figure Arts where you just pop a faceplate on. Now, these guys just do full head sculpts, which is really nice. But check that out. For a stock head sculpt, that looks good. His little beard, his little goatee. Yeah. That's really cool looking. Very nice. One of the two Baby Yodas, little Grogus, and he's got an interesting little funny expression on his face. Yeah, the arms move. Actually, the hands move on this too. The only thing it doesn't move is like His head moves, but his ears don't move. I believe it was the SH Figure Arts, the last one they released, had movable ears, which was cool. This doesn't do that, but it's nice, and it's actually got little feet underneath. Pretty cool. And it's a different Grogu than the last one that they made. So this one looks a little bit different. And then here he is in his little pouch, and he's got a different expression. And the heads move on both of these, and you can interchange both heads on both Grogus. This is plastic. It looks really nice. It's textured. And this is actually fabric, which is nice. Kind of cool looking. So it's totally pliable and movable. Looks good. It lays on him really well. Lays on Din Djarin really well. So you can have him like tucked into his little bag. Here's the secondary helmeted head with the little flashlight, which is cool. Yep. Yeah, I guess you could say they went the extra mile. Instead of just giving you one head sculpt with a helmet and a plug-in flashlight, they just molded a whole nother helmet, which this looks good. It's pretty nice details. And here's his jetpack, and this is nice, has lots of nice details on it. Looks good. It's on the same backplate system that this is like attached to. This comes off, but you can actually just switch out the whole thing, take off the backplate off the figure, and then pop this on. Excuse me. And once again, the thrusters do not articulate on this. They do give you, effects to plug into this, but it's not articulated. And on this one, there's no rocket on the top, I don't believe. So just got that little thing on the top. I don't believe that's a rocket. Looks like just kind of a cap. But here's the firing, whistling birds effect thing. It's pretty nice. It's got the little missiles coming out at the end. Yeah, you can see them individually. They're firing. Kind of looks like a creepy hand. But that plugs into his left gauntlet and, simulates like they're firing. So here's his pistol. Looks good. And they did this right this time. They took away the pinkish looking on the pistol. This one is just, standard metallic, and it's got a little paint on the end on the barrel. But nice looking pistol. Yeah, cool details. Looks good. Yep. Grip looks painted nice. The gauntlet flamethrower effect. Yeah, that looks cool. Just plugs in on his right wrist gauntlet. Pretty nice. I like the translucent effect here on this. Looks good. Yeah, how it just kind of changes color and goes back to like it's coming out like it's more clear. Very nice. So there's a pair of translucent jetpack rocket effects. Pretty cool. Pretty standard. Just a little vibro knife. Pretty nice details on this knife. I think it looks good. Here's the Darksaber. I think this looks pretty nice. Nice kind of weird, clear-looking, shimmering effect on the blade to make it look like it does in the show. Kind of decent, different than some other companies. I like the detail on the hilt. Hilt looks cool. Very nice. Basically, the other handle is just like this. So you get this one, and then you get the other single hilt. So here's the M-Phase pulse rifle, and there's two of these. One with the strap that comes back so it goes over his shoulder. But I like how the effects look like it's changed it down here, like it's heated up with the blue to the kind of like copperish to the silver. Pretty nice. Nice looking scopes. Really nice looking gun. This is a cool looking rifle. Pretty excellent. And the other one is basically just like this too. It just is made to plug onto his back. But cool looking details. The stock looks good. Yeah. Really cool looking paint on this. They did a good job. The scope looks cool. Looks excellent. Very good. And here's the other one. Basically just the same thing. It's just made it's got a little strap that's the strap that's down here that's plugs into his goes over his shoulder. See, like right there. It's got a little strap and it plugs into his back. Yep. Here's your Beskar spear. Looks pretty nice. There's some actually detail on the shaft of it here. It's kind of changed colors a little bit, like it was heated up. Yeah, you can sort of see some details, the way it indents. It's pretty nice. Yep, that's the Beskar spear. My least favorite out of all these, which is the grappling hook it's on the wire. And I guess this bends, but I've never bent. I would be kind of afraid to bend this because I don't think you'd ever get back into shape if you did, but I think it does bend. Anyway, there's that. And then you just got tons and tons of hands. And they're all on these little clips, which is nice. Yep, total of 20 different hands, which is cool. So that's nice. And finally, we get to Mando himself. And I think this is a really nice looking character. Like all the details on the belt. This is free floating. His chest one is free floating. It's nice. This is kind of semi free floating down here. When I got this, I had to kind of adjust this around because it was kind of moved awkwardly. But it's got the nice, you know, the little wired cape. It's tucked under here under the back. And if you lift this up, it's wired on both sides, tattered on the bottom. If you lift this up, you can see his back plate. This comes off, and you can plug the jetpack into this, take this one off. It's kind of a pain. It's got this clip down here that's made for his rifle. It's a little fiddly, I won't lie. I've seen other people do this. That's why I'm not going to do it right now, because it's pretty much fiddly. It'll take you some time to get his rifle strapped to his back. But then one of the other plates has I think the other plate has a clip for his Beskar spear. Now, I've seen that when you plug the Beskar spear into it, and if you move him around a little bit, it makes the spear bend a little bit, which is a weird production choice on their part that they would do that. I mean, it's nice to have storage, you know, weapon storage for it, but then you don't want it to look bent. So it's kind of a weird choice. But anyway, as far as articulation, he's got, you know, hinge and swivel hands that go up and down any way you want. It swivels at the elbow down here. There's a little joint up here. There's what you would call, it's a different kind of bicep swivel, but it's right above the arm right here. And then it's got your, you know, basic up and down shifting up here, and basically your butterfly joints. These pauldrons are on a little ball joint up at the top, so they kind of like get up, like move up when you move the arms independently. You have to kind of seat these back down to make it look right. But they do turn, everything rotates. It's pretty nice. Double jointed on these, but they only get this far, which is kind of strange, but it still looks good. I think it's functional enough. The knees are single jointed. They get up about that far. No boot cut swivel. You've got rocker, a little bit of rocker. The rocker's it's pretty tight. It does rock, but it's very tight. And then it's got toe hinge on both. Goes up like that far, like that, back that far, not much. It's got your usual, you know, a little bit of articulation at the waist. It's pretty tight though. Doesn't really bend forward much. Let's see. Not much, a little bit back. Almost imperceptible. The legs move back that far, so they kind of go back. You can get them into like a walking pose. They do have a drop down mechanism here at the joint. Yep, and so it does swivel a little bit. No real thigh cut articulation, but they do kind of turn on the joint right there. Yep, it's nice. These particularly look good. These little details on here on the knee rocket, I like that. For season 2, they added this knee pad back in, which is kind of nice. And up here also as well, the grenade details, they got the third grenade back on. And then this one, they added back a cartridge down here. Yep, because it was missing from before. So some of that's pretty detailed, pretty nice. Now down here, it's interesting because they give you the vibro knife, but here is a sculpted vibro knife handle, which is in a sheath permanently. You can't take this out, which to me is kind of a weird choice. The holster works really well. It's not fiddly as much like the SH Figure Arts, and it does have a little strap that comes down. I think you can plug it right in. Let me see. No, maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought there was a strap, but I don't feel it. No, don't see it. No, but it does plug in. The gun plugs in nicely in there, and it'll hold it. It's pretty good. But all the cartridge detail and everything on his belt, everything's painted really well. Even the red on the whatchamacallit, little bomb thingies here, they're cool. Looks good. So a lot of nice details. There's the Mudhorn signet on his pauldron. Yeah, looks cool. And here's the gauntlet where you would plug the whistling birds, the flamethrower into. And it looks like I popped off the whatchamacallit, off the gauntlet piece up here. But, and I just realized something. I forgot to mention this. Here is the effect for the end of the rifles. Yep, it does come with a little electro effect that comes for the end of the pulse rifles. I forgot that in the effect, so I'm sorry about that. But there it is anyway. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, back to the figure. It's a nice figure. As far as the range, it's got a higher neck peg. So it does kind of go up and down better. Looks up really good, which is better for flying poses. Nice. Looks down fairly well. Lots of tilt. Looks good. I like this. Turn side to side. Pretty good. I mean, that's nice. I think it does look good. To me, it kind of looks proportions-wise like there's a dude in a suit. Yep. Whoop, knocked one of the little pauldrons off. You got to watch out for this. It's on a little peg, so it just pegs back in. Give me a second, but I got that pauldron back on. I guess you got to kind of watch out with these when you move them. Sometimes they lift up, but they can also pop off. But they do just pop back on. So probably my advice would be to pose it up, and then if you need to, you could take it off and then put it once you get it in the pose you want, then just snap it back on there. Might be easier to do it that way. You know, sometimes these import figures are engineered certain ways where it's just, you know, they're a little bit fiddly sometimes. But yeah, and Mafex is not that much different. I mean, this is a little less fiddly than the SH Figure Arts, but nonetheless, it still kind of is. But yeah. And back to the back with the cape. The cape's nice. It's wired on both sides. Has the tattered effects. It's kind of cool. It's got this hole up here where you can plug in the rifle on the outside if you want through. Some people just like to bunch it up, put the jetpack on, and then have the rifle slung over on top of it. You could do that too, so it works both ways. Nice details on the back. Yep. The undersuit looks good. Very nice. Some really nice details on this figure itself. It's very nice. I really like it. Very good. Yep. So that's most all of it. There's one or two other little pieces, like on the guns. It has a little ring collar thing that fits on it that you have to assemble to put the. It's a little bit fiddly to make the gun hang on them. I didn't go through that, but it's in the instructions pamphlet, which is in the in here. That comes with an instruction pamphlet too. I forgot to mention that. And most of that is the instruction pamphlet is on one or two items how to set it up, but it's helpful, I guess. But anyway, I guess that's about it with Mando. Yeah. I mean, the only other thing else I could do is probably pop his unmasked head on. Let's check that out real quick. Well, here he is with the Pedro Pascal head sculpt on. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah. Even though he doesn't take off his helmet very often, I think that they did a good job by putting this head sculpt in there. It just gives you an extra option. And I think he looks good in the suit like this. It looks pretty natural. His arms are pretty nice. They go right down to his sides, which can make it kind of look kind of natural looking, which is nice. So yeah, well, I guess that's about it for Mando version 2.0. If you stuck around and watched this, I know it was a long video. I appreciate you your time, and I appreciate you coming by to check it out. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help the channel grow, and I really, really do appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Please come back and check out my playlist. I'm always uploading new stuff to my playlist, and pretty much uploading every week, sometimes multiple times a week. It just depends. But anyway, thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time on the next video. May the Force be with you. Always.